I thought it was a game, but she really left. Warning TLDR at the bottom. But please read if you've ever taken someone for granted. I used to think relationships were kind of like puzzles. You mess around with the pieces, try to get them to fit, maybe force a few into place until something clicks. I thought I was decent at the game, patient, funny, emotionally available, whatever that means. But I realize now I was just coasting, reacting, assuming love would always just be there. This is about her. I'm not going to use her real name, so I'll call her Lena. We were together for 6 years. Lived together for 4. And I swear to whatever's out there, I thought we were fine. Not perfect, but stable. We had routines, little fights, a shared Spotify premium. We talked about getting a dog once the lease was up. I joked about how she'd name it something stupid like Pickle, and she pretended to be offended, then laughed and said, "Pickle is adorable, you emotionless fridge." That was our vibe. A lot of sarcasm, a lot of late-night tacos, and a growing collection of dumb inside jokes that only made sense at 2 a.m. But things started shifting about a year ago. At first, it was little things. She stopped sending me memes during the day. Stopped playing footsie under the table when we were out. She'd leave for walks that lasted 2 hours and come back quieter. I thought maybe she was depressed, and I asked a few times if everything was okay. She always said yes, just stressed, just tired, maybe PMSING. I believed her. I mean, don't we all go through weird phases? Then came the questions. Loaded ones. Do you think we'd still love each other if we had to start over from scratch? If I disappeared, would you come find me, or just assume I needed space? Would you love me even if I wasn't me anymore? I laughed them off, called her a nerd, kissed her forehead. One time I said, "You thinking of joining a cult or something?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Then one day in February, I came home and the apartment was off. Not messy, not empty, just off. Her favorite hoodie was gone from the hook. Her keys were missing. Her laptop, toothbrush, hair straightener, passport, all gone. But the coffee machine was still warm. Our joint calendar still showed movie night, you pick, for that evening. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Texted. Nothing. An hour passed. Then 5. By midnight, I was panicking, checking hospitals, calling her sister, who had no idea, even logging into her old Facebook. I couldn't file a missing person report yet, not until 24 hours passed. So I waited and waited. She didn't come home. Not the next day. Not the next week. Her job called me after she didn't show up. Apparently, she resigned via email with a pre-written template. No explanation, just moving on to new opportunities. She'd left the cat, though. Benny. He sat by the door every night like a soldier on watch. That cat didn't meow for 2 days, like he was in mourning. I felt the same. 3 weeks later, I got a letter. A literal envelope. No return address. Just a small card inside that said, "You thought this was just another one of our games. It wasn't. Please don't try to find me. I'm okay. Be better next time." I lost it. I mean, what kind of cryptic nonsense is that? Be better? Like I was some villain in her origin story? I called her sister again. She hadn't heard anything. Her mom, who never really liked me, messaged me 2 days later saying, "It's best if you let her go. You won't understand." What does that even mean? So I did what any dumbass heartbroken guy does when he can't get closure. I went full internet detective. I scoured Reddit, Instagram, old Pinterest boards. I checked her Venmo. Found nothing. Then I remembered something. Lena had a habit of using weird Reddit throwaways to lurk in niche subreddits. She never commented much, but sometimes she'd post short poems or journal-like rants. She'd told me once her go-to handle was always something to do with ink and oceans. That's how she thought of herself, deep and constantly rewriting. I searched a lot, and finally, I found something. A Reddit user, u/inkangdon. Account created 3 months before she vanished. Only 5 posts. All in obscure subs like r/OC Poetry, r/Deciding to Be Better, and 1 post in r/True Off My Chest title. Leaving doesn't always mean giving up. Sometimes it means finally choosing yourself. Reading it felt like a punch to the gut. She described a relationship that was comfortable but empty. A partner who loved me the way someone loves furniture, useful there, but rarely noticed. She wrote about dreams deferred, about always feeling like she was auditioning for someone else's life. And the worst part? She posted it 3 days before she left. That was 3 months ago. I haven't heard a word since. I want to be angry. Hell, I was angry for weeks. Furious at the audacity of her leaving without a real goodbye. Of taking her toothbrush and her Spotify password and walking out of 6 years like it was a hotel room. But now I just feel hollow and kind of terrified that maybe I was the problem. That I missed every sign she gave me. That I treated her sadness like a game. That I laughed when she was asking for help. I've replayed every conversation from that last month 100 times. Every night I fall asleep to the same memory. She was brushing her hair in the mirror, humming softly. I came up behind her, wrapped my arms around her waist, and said, "You're not allowed to leave me. Ever." She smiled in the mirror and said, "Promise?" And I said, "Of course. Duh." She didn't say anything for a second. Then, "What if I said I was already halfway gone?" And I laughed. I laughed, man. Like it was another joke. Like it was part of the game. TLDR. My girlfriend of 6 years vanished one day. I thought she was playing some emotional test, but she left for real, with no contact, no trace, just a cryptic letter. Turns out she'd been planning it for a while. I just didn't see it. Part 2. I found her again, but she wasn't alone. Posted by u/throwaway lost her 123. r/True Off My Chest. It's been 5 months since Lena disappeared. 5 months of silence. Of second-guessing myself, replaying every laugh, every side glance, every text left on read. I've tried to move on. Therapy. Gym. Deleted old photos. Even blocked her Spotify so she wouldn't pop up in my friend activity, which, weirdly, felt like the hardest part. But of course, you're never really done, are you? Because life doesn't let you bury ghosts. It drags them back out by the ankle, usually when you least expect it. And sometimes they're holding a child. Let me explain. 2 weeks ago, I was visiting my cousin Josh in Austin. I hadn't seen the guy in years. We got drinks, played Mario Kart like it was 2008 again, and ended up walking through this local Saturday market downtown. One of those hipster setups with vegan soap and beeswax candles, and $20 mugs that say things like, "Anxious but caffeinated." That's when I saw her. Not just someone who looked like her. It was her. Hair a little shorter. Same walk. Same posture. She was wearing this light blue sundress and pushing a stroller. At first, my brain flat out refused to accept it. I froze like someone unplugged my spine. Then she turned and looked right at me. I thought, maybe, I imagined it, that maybe my brain was playing some trauma-induced trick. But she looked shocked too. She didn't wave. She didn't smile. She just stared for a few long, heart-pounding seconds, and then walked away. Fast. I yelled her name. I actually sprinted after her, like a lunatic, dodging Etsy moms and a guy selling kombucha. She cut through the vendor rows. I lost sight of her by a food truck, but I saw the back of the stroller. A navy diaper bag with little cartoon whales. And a tiny, curly-haired toddler. Couldn't have been older than 3. 3. My mind went wild. I sat on a bench and just shut down. For a full hour. Then I started asking around. Vendors. Nearby stores. Eventually someone said they thought the lady with the kid parked in a lot near 6th Street. I raced there. No sign. But that diaper bag. That stroller. That kid. Why didn't she stop? Why didn't she say anything? Did she think I'd scream at her? Did she assume I'd make a scene? Or worse, did she really not want me to know about the kid? When I got back to Josh's place, I told him everything. He's a chill guy, way more stable than me, and suggested I leave it alone. She left, man. She ghosted. Why did that back up? But I couldn't stop. Over the next few days, I did more sleuthing. Lena had deleted her socials, but I remembered she used a Gmail for job hunting. I tried it on Google, and boom, found a LinkedIn profile with a half-visible name and a new location, Austin. The photo was her. Definitely her. Professional headshot, no kid in sight. Then I found a public parent group page, like a community for single moms in East Austin, and there was a comment from a Leah A. asking about affordable daycare. The profile pic? It was blurry, but it was her, holding a toddler in her lap. Both smiling. I can't explain how that hit. Not anger. Not jealousy. Just confusion. And grief. Like I'd been edited out of a life I never even got to apply for. A few nights later, I sent her a message. Just, I saw you. I won't show up again. I just need to know, is she mine? I didn't expect a reply. But 2 days later, at 2:14 a.m., I got one. Her. She isn't. Please don't reach out again. I stared at that message for a long time. So, not my child. Okay. But whose then? Someone she met after she left? Or before? That timeline's tight. Real tight. And also, how do I trust her word? The person who vanished like a shadow and left me with a post-it level of closure? The next week was a blur. I didn't sleep much. Kept rereading her message, like there was a hidden code I missed. Eventually, I reached out to her sister again. She picked up after 3 rings. Me. Hey. It's me. Her. Yeah. I figured. Me. She told me the kid isn't mine. Her. Long pause. Right. Me. Can I ask when she had her? Her. I don't know if I should. Me. Please. Her softly. A little under 2 years ago. After she moved to Austin. She was seeing someone. It didn't work out. Me. And she never thought to. Her. She said she wanted to start fresh. Didn't want to drag you into something that wasn't yours. I think that broke me more than the original leaving. Because it meant that this whole new life, new city, new child, new name, had space for love, for mistakes, for someone else, just not me. I'm not here to villainize her. I genuinely think she was hurting. That she needed out. That maybe I was, unknowingly, part of what made her feel trapped. But the lack of honesty, the silence, the cut cord, the letter, it turned me into a ghost in her past instead of someone she once shared a life with. Now, I'm left with this image I can't shake. Her, holding that toddler. Smiling. A real full smile. Not the tired smirk she gave me toward the end. Not the worn out, I'm fine, expression she wore for a year. Just joy. And a baby who got to see it every day. Sometimes I wonder if I ever made her feel that way, or if I was always just a chapter she regretted writing. Part 3. She called me again. This time, she was crying. Posted by u/throwaway lost her 123. r/true off my chest. It's been 2 weeks since she texted me, asking not to reach out again. 10 days since I talked to her sister. 4 days since I finally stopped checking that parenting group. I told myself I was done. Then I got a call. It was 11:32 p.m. on a Thursday. I was half asleep, half scrolling on my phone, and when I saw her name flash on the screen, just Lena, I thought I was dreaming. I froze. I didn't pick up. She called again and again. On the 4th ring, I answered. Hello? Nothing for a second. Then a shaky voice. Hey. She was crying. Not loud sobs, but those quiet, breathless gasps you try to swallow when everything's falling apart and you don't want the world to hear. Lena? I didn't know who else to call. What do you even say to that? It's been almost a year. A year of silence, then chaos, then nothing again. But I didn't hang up. Instead, I asked, Where are you? She gave me an address, somewhere on the east side of Austin. She sounded afraid. Not in a vague, sad way, but genuinely frightened. So I went. It took me 35 minutes to get there. A 1-story duplex, peeling paint, dim porch light. When I pulled up, I saw her standing outside with a toddler on her hip and a small backpack at her feet. She looked wrecked, tired, thin, like she hadn't slept in days. When I stepped out of the car, the kid, a little girl, peeked over her shoulder and stared at me with wide eyes. Neither of us said anything for a moment. Then she whispered, Can we stay with you? Just for a few days. That question felt like a bomb in my chest. I should have said no. Should have reminded her that she disappeared, that she told me not to reach out, that this wasn't my life anymore. But I didn't. I helped them into the car. We drove back in silence. Later that night, after the girl fell asleep on my couch, Lena called her. May, we sat in the kitchen drinking tea like nothing had happened. Like it was 2019 again. Except it wasn't. And she wasn't the same Lena. She told me everything. How she'd met a guy 6 months after leaving. Someone older. Wealthy. Seemed stable. How she got pregnant just a few weeks in. How he got controlling. Subtle at first, always watching, always commenting on her friends, her clothes, her phone. How it escalated. Verbal jabs. Isolation. Eventually physical. She left once. Came back. Left again. And finally, this time, she ran, with May in her arms. I had nowhere to go, she said. No money. No friends left. I burned all my bridges. You didn't burn mine, I said. Her eyes filled again. I don't deserve this, she whispered. Maybe she didn't. But I also didn't deserve to be left without a goodbye. Life doesn't operate on fairness. Still, there she was. Over the next week, they stayed. I made pancakes for May. She drew me with a crayon beard and purple hair. Lena showered. Slept. Ate like she hadn't in weeks. It was weird. Comfortable. Heartbreaking. Because as nice as it felt to be needed, it wasn't the same as being wanted. One night, we sat on the porch. I think she remembers you, Lena said. She's never met me. Maybe not. But she trusts you fast. I didn't know how to respond to that. Then she asked the question I'd been dreading. Do you still love me? I hesitated. Too long, maybe. I don't know, I said. I love the idea of what we were. I don't know who you are now. She nodded. Quiet. Accepting. That's fair. They stayed one more night. The next morning, I drove them to a women's shelter Lena had connected with. Before she got out, she turned to me and said, "Thank you for showing up when I didn't deserve it." I didn't say anything, just helped buckle May into her seat, gave her a silly wave, and watched them walk away again. But this time, it didn't hurt as much, because this time, I had the full story. Update: it's been 3 months. She texts sometimes. Photos of May, little updates. I don't always reply. Sometimes I just smile and close my phone. I'm healing. She's rebuilding. And that's okay. Some stories don't end with a happy reunion. Some end with peace. And maybe that's enough. Thanks for listening, Reddit. Really. Writing this down made it real. And sometimes, that's the only way you move on.